Hello and welcome to Massive Crit. We're a bit late releasing this video because Warhammer Fest this year clashed with a weekend away, so let's just wave at those views as they pass us by and say goodbye. Unless you are of course watching this video, and if you are, good form and thank you very much. Away we go. As you are all very aware of by now, GW have announced the next Kill Team box set, Moroch, and not just one model this time, but the whole box set. And what a banger! And I was kind of hoping it was going to be, because we've officially come to the end of the Kill Team roadmap. So I'm glad they went out with a corker. I did notice in the Warhammer community article that it said this is the next quarterly box set to be released for the skirmish game, based in the 41st millennium. They did not say the last. Am I reading too much into this? Probably. But I just want those fat, juicy box sets just to keep coming, but maybe without so much terrain. I've got more terrain now than time it takes to build and paint it, so maybe some physio-typical box sets next time. Just the kill teams and the book, please, GW. Where to start? With a shameless plug. A couple of weeks ago, I made a video called Is Kill Team Still a Gateway Game into 40k? Where I questioned Kill Team's role within the 40k franchise and advocated for alternative teams to which we see in Big Hammer. And I did mention quite a few factions, but of those factions I definitely mentioned Traitor Guard, Enforcers and Mutants, and lo and behold, all three are now available in the next Kill Team box set. So is Games Workshop listening to me? No. I'd like to think so. So first we have the Blooded Kill Team. The Warhammer community article tells us that the Enforcer and Ogryn are not new miniatures and were first released in Blackstone Fortress expansions, while the Militarum Traitoris miniatures are entirely new. So, of course, I'm super hyped for the Blooded Kill Team, because Blackstone Fortress was during my long sabbatical away from the hobby, and I know, I can still get the game, but I can't get any of the expansions, so the game's pretty much dead to me, which is a shame, because the models are definitely page 3 standard. Well, let's take a look at them. Here we have the first two. The left seems to me like a sergeant operative, so someone for the commissar to shoot if things go awry. No plasma pistol on him though, so I hope we get the option. The armour's pretty cool. Seems more based on Cadians to me, with that sort of helmet, which could kind of fit in with the fall of Cadia. Perhaps many of them fell to chaos. It's just the leg wrap on the left boot that seems creaky. I love the trophy rack and the added bits of armour and spikes, and especially the high pack, so great looking model so far for me. The next guy doesn't look like a standard trooper to me. He has a standard lasgun and close combat weapon, but the cloak is different. I can't quite see what it is, but I'm getting Hunter Tracker vibes from him. Could be a specialist, this one though, not overly sure what though. Next we have the Commissar, or the true leader, and he's definitely looks like he means business. I'm loving the Chaos Star burnt upon his face and etched into his armour. The old Imperial banner, or maybe it's like a prayer now with a Chaos symbol painted in blood on top, like the anti-Imperium. Again, no plasma pistol, but a great honking power fist, and I assume we'll get more sort of weapon options for him, but we'll have to see. And then next to him we have the Mutant Ogryn, which apparently is not a new sculpt, but what an absolute unit he is. Love how that Chaos Star is wedged in his body, and just look at the close combat weapon. It looks to have a motor from a chainsword, but doesn't look like it has that moving action of a chainsword. And then it has the glowy power sword thing. So this thing looks like it's a hardcore day wrecker, which has got to make him an absolute beast in game, and if not, then he has that mutated claw as well. But the Starstorm Duelist in the Corsair Voice Guard kill team has 2 pistols and an option to shoot with both, with a unique action. So I wonder if the Ogryn will have something similar but for melee. Next Looks just like a classic sniper specialist, and I love the executioner's HUD, but apart from that, just a solid sniper. They may be traitors, but they're still guards, so they need a sniper. The next looks like he could just be an average soldier. He has a unique looking mask, and he is paired with the sniper, so could he be some sort of spotter? But no, like when you follow chaos, you can adorn yourself uniquely, unlike the faithful generic, so I don't know, not sure on this one. Now we have the close combat specialists, and I'm not going to try and guess what they do because this isn't the old edition of Kill Team where the specialists were universal. Like each new Kill Team can have unique specialisms, which makes guessing a bit useless. So yeah, but I love both the sculpts. The chainmail seems pretty hilarious, and the club just seems like a cargo machine mounted to a stick. So, but yeah, I like the DIY vibe of the traitors. I can't imagine they can be resupplied very easily now that they've turned. So they've just got to try and make do with what they got. Next, we have a plasma gunner, which is sweet because it's probably the best gun in the game. And finally, we have a close combat operative of some sorts with a maniacal grin, which seems so standard for Chaos these days. But you just can't go wrong with a maniac with a butcher's cleaver, surely. Like, I really do quite like this guy. He gives me some sort of like cultist vibes, but yeah, I think he's great. And finally, the last two. Let's have a look at this bloke chucking this grenade, which could mean he's a grenadier, which could make sense, though with grenades being available as equipment, this could just be another standard loadout, right? Though, what is that thing on his belt? Like, Grandpa's ashes? And why does his head look so small and hand so big? Has he got a massive neck, or is it just me? Or the way the model's been pictured? Who knows? This one's a bit weird. Don't know about this one, but here we have the Enforcer, and again, apparently not a new model, but looking incredible. There just isn't enough breacher shields in Kill Team, and I suppose there still isn't with this one operative, but it's still better than none, I suppose. But it's got a shotgun, so some limited range, but deadly, and breacher shields and shotguns are for close range fighting, right? And perhaps you'll be able to use it in close combat, who knows? But yeah, I love the repairs on the breacher shield. I think that's quite cool. The chaos symbols, again, added. So all in all, I think the Traitor Guard are looking quality, and I like the mix of different operatives to give a bit of flavour and diversity. But going up against the Blooded is the Phobos strike team, so let's check these guys out. If this really is the last box set, then it makes sense that Space Marines are in there, because Space Marines gotta have their own box set, right? And they have suffered thus far in this edition of Kill Team, so I hope they get a little bit of love, even though they're not one of my favourite factions. So we have another upgrade sprue in the Incursor Infiltrator kit, which we've seen with previous factions in previous boxes for Kill Team, and I'm a little bit disappointed with that. I was kind of hoping it was going to be like a Primaris upgrade sprue for the Death Watch in one of the kits. I thought that would be really cool. So I think this is a bit of a missed opportunity for just kind of like a generic team. So my only hopes going forward is that we're going to be able to mix some of the Phobos armors, so like infiltrators and cursors, with like reavers and things like that. But we'll just have to see. So let's take a look. The first looks to be like a standard Marine, I think, and yeah, the second maybe a Vox Breaker they mentioned in the article. I don't know, like perhaps the Vox Breaker can break the enemy's orders or something, or like render an order or action or something obsolete, or maybe for an operative or operatives in a certain radius, or it's probably just going to be like flip a conceal order to like an engage order or something like that. Next we have the Medic, which is kind of cool. I do like some healing shenanigans in my Kill Teams, like as long as it's not Chaos. I just don't think Chaos should heal each other. Like I just don't think that's their vibe. But then maybe this next operative could be the Vox Breaker. I mean, the service schools could be pretty cool as equipment. I don't know, like negated cover saves for enemy operatives or something, or maybe this is what's going to flip, like conceal to engage. Next, what looks like a standard Marine, and then what could be a Saboteur with his little detonator and what looks to be like an explosive of some kind on his belt. some kind of demo specialist like in Vet Guard. Cool. Next, we could have an incursor with a target thing on his backpack, so maybe we could have a mix of operatives in the kill team. Yes, something on his belt too. I'm not sure what that could be. Maybe some kind of other demo charge? I don't know. And the other guy just looks like a regular infiltrator to me, so yeah. And finally, could we have the sergeant operative here? He seems to have a different sort of ammo clip, so perhaps he has different types of ammunition. I'm not sure about his first place award on his chest though. I don't think I'll be modelling him with that. He does seem to be the only one with a close combat weapon. Like, the others seem to have an additional pistol, but not a close combat weapon, so it could be a sergeant. And finally, we have the chap chucking a smoke grenade, so yeah, it could be a grenadier, or could just be equipment on a standard marine. Cool. So there we have the Phobos team, and they're okay. I was just hoping for a Deathwatch upgrade sprue for the Space Marine kill team, but Phobos Marines are okay, I suppose. I just don't really like how vanilla they are. Like, Space Marines for me are like knights in space. I want to see some like personalisation and like purity seals and tabards and things like that. The Phobos Marines are just a little bit too spec opsy for me, which I know like kill team is about that, but like Space Marines aren't really about that for me. Like for Space Marines, I like the Dark Angels and I like the Deathwatch, but the plain vanilla Phobos just doesn't get the juices multiplying. For one of the previous editions of kill teams, it came with some like Reavers, and I bought a Deathwatch upgrade sprue for those, and I think I'm going to do the same with these, just to try and make them a little bit more fun, and I'll try and sort of like swap some bits with some of my mates that collect Space Marines to add a little personalisation to them. Last but certainly not least, we have the terrain, which I do think is quality. It's not an old set. What is it, like a month or so old? So I'm like surprised to see it here. Like, apart from the Octaria set, we've had what felt like repurposed old stock. So this is pretty cool. So away to the bottom of the pile of shame for you, Mechanicus terrain. It looks really easy to paint, which I love with terrain. I want to paint it as quickly as possible to save more time for them sweet minis. I'm not sure how this will work in the game. Maybe the big sodding satellite in the middle of the board and everything else around the outside to create sort of like mosh pit of melee in the middle. I'm sure we can make it work. Not so much light terrain in this box, but I'm sure we can match some bits from older sets in there if we really want. They have some bits on the edge of the board, so we could be looking at some unique rules with those for the kill zone. So there we have it, and I'm super hyped for this box set, but then again, I'm always hyped for the box sets. Apart from Chalmers, I didn't get that one. Wasn't so hyped for that. But yeah, loving this new Traitor Guard, loving the terrain in there as well. I think that's really cool. And I'm just hoping I get everything painted up that I bought previously before this new box set is released, because yeah, things stack up, don't they? But what do you think about this box? Have you already got the Blackstone Fortress models and a little bit disappointed that you didn't get anything a bit more original? Or are you with me regarding the Phobos kill team? Are you looking for something a little bit more flavourful? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And until next time, may you always crit massive.